Hey guys, Vincent here, and this is the Guard Hussars Sabre. So this is the second video about the Prussian light cavalry sabres, and we're gonna talk about a somewhat forgotten and not very well known weapon, the sabre of the Guard Hussars. This sabre features a single-edged curved blade with a spear-point tip. The hilt has a very broad guard and wooden grip covered in leather. The scabbard is an all-metal construction with 2 rings. The whole weapon is roughly 103 cm long, with an 88 cm long blade. On its widest point the blade measures 33 mm, and near the hilt it's 8 mm thick. Without the scabbard, the sabre weighs around 1.1 kilo. There is not much known about this sabre, but what we do know is the following. The year is 1848, and Prussia has to fight the Danes during the First Schleswig War. During this conflict, the Prussian light cavalry fought against their Danish counterparts, and during these battles one problem became apparent. The Prussian light cavalry still used the old Blücher sabre M1811, a design from before the Napoleonic Wars. It only features a single bar hilt and therefore lacked good hand protection. How big of an issue this lack of hand protection was for the troops shows a letter sent from a soldier of the 3rd Hussars. In 1848 he wrote the following: "We suffered 3 wounded. Everybody had slashes on their right hand. Oh well, a broad basket guard sabre, that must be a wonderful thing." A newspaper of the time even published an article where they reminded the reader of the time during the Napoleonic Wars, when every Prussian horseman switched their sabres against a French one with a much better hand protection as soon as they could find one. And after those very angry letters from very angry hussars, who probably had now to use their left hand to write those letters, the Prussian army command decided to test new sabres with a better hilt construction. The one regiment who had to test those new weapons was the Guard Hussar regiment. It is written in their regimental history that they received 96 of those new basket guard sabres in spring of 1849. Sadly, there is no document surviving about the outcome of these trials, but in May 1852 a different sabre was adopted for the whole light cavalry, the Sabre M52. But even when all the other regiments had the M52 shipped to them, the Guard Hussars stayed with their trial sabre. It was only in 1857 when they had to give away these sabres and finally received the M52 as well. So even though there is no official adoption document left, we can safely assume that the Guard Hussars adopted the sabre as their standard weapon, because there are orders surviving to even equip the reserve formations of the Guard Hussar regiment. This fact, plus the long time span between the trials and the adoption of the M52 for the Guard Hussars, led most historians believe that this was indeed a standard issue weapon and not just a very long trial. As we don't have any official name for this sabre, and every time it's mentioned in a letter or a document it's just called the new basket-hilted sabre, the name Guard Hussars sabre has become widely used with collectors and historians. But even when it was replaced in 1857 in Prussian service, interestingly enough, it's not the end of its history. We know that those sabres were then sold to Liège in Belgium, where they were sold again to Great Britain, and they used them as the weapons for the Royal Engineer drivers. Sadly, I don't have any information about how long the Royal Engineers used them, but maybe some of you guys know more than I do and could post some more infos in the comments down below. Since this weapon was not only used by the Prussian Guard Hussars, but also stayed in Belgium and with the British Army for a while, we have markings and stamps from all 3 nations. Some of those sabres show manufacturer markings and others don't. But what we do have are proof marks. In this case it's a W under a crown. The other Prussian markings, the property stamp on the back of the blade, show either the number 49 or 50 for 1849 or 1850, indicating the year that this weapon became army property. As far as I know, the Belgians stamped those sabres with an L and an 8 under a crown. The L stands for the city of Liège, and I have no idea what the 8 is supposed to mean. The British, on the other hand, stamped the sabres with one broad arrow when these swords entered service, and then with another broad arrow when they were decommissioned. So even though the stamp looks like the letter X, there are actually two facing broad arrows. And this is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments down below or send me an email. Thank you so much for watching. My sources are shown, as always, at the end of the video. And this leaves me with nothing else to say but I will see you guys in the next video.